Sheri Melander-Smith, and thank you all for joining me today on another segment of Living Forward. My goal on this show is to talk about and focus on how to live the best life possible after the onset of a disability or chronic illness. Before I introduce my guest today, there's something I'd like to share with the viewers. 2 months ago, I took a trip to New York City, and in fact, I did a show on it. And from there, I wrote this article on my experience, and it was recently published in Action Magazine for September-October. You can see I'm here on the cover, and here's the skyline of Manhattan behind me. The actual article itself is 3 pages, and it talks about my whole trip to New York and how exciting and fun it was. So if you're interested in reading this article, you can view it online at www.unitedspinal.org. As you may already know, October is National Employment of Persons with Disabilities Awareness Month. And in alignment with that, we have a very special guest today. Ellie Emanuel is a Disability Program Navigator at the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Welcome, Ellie.
Hi.
So nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here. I'm excited.
Could you begin by telling our viewers a little bit about the Department of Employment and Economic Development?
One of the most important aspects about DEED is they manage the workforce centers in Minnesota, and we have 47 of them. And actually, that's where I'm housed. I am at the South Minneapolis Workforce Center. And the center is there to help people with disabilities, as well as people who don't have disabilities, get employment.
Okay, and your role there is a Disability Program Navigator. Can you tell me what it is you do in your role to assist people with disabilities to get a job?
Okay. I assist them by telling them about the services, all of the services, so that when an individual comes in, if they don't understand what the Workforce Center is about, I can show them how to use accommodations that we have at on our computers, and also tell them about VR services, vocational rehabilitation services. Most of vocational rehabilitation services offices are in workforce centers.
Oh, okay, so there's a correlation and a working relationship between DEED and the rehabilitation services offered by the state of Minnesota.
Right.
Okay.
They're actually within vocational rehabilitation services is within DEED.
Okay. And I understand that you have a program called Pathways to Employment. Can you explain to our viewers a little bit about what that program entails?
Sure. Pathways to Employment is a grant, a special grant. It's called a Medicaid Infrastructure Grant, which the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid have given to various states. And what ours is about, it's called Pathways to Employment here in Minnesota. And what they do is they have various initiatives that are to promote competitive employment for persons with disabilities. For example, one of their programs is State as Model Employer. And what that means, they actually have funded some vocational rehabilitation consumers to work as interns within the workforce center.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've actually had the opportunity to have 2 of them.
Wonderful. Yeah. So how is it that a person who is unemployed and has a disability, sometimes there can be very unique challenges to finding a job. How is it that you can assist these individuals who would come to see you?
Okay, so a person comes in, and sometimes, they know that they have a disability, and sometimes they don't know that they have a disability, and sometimes they want to disclose it, and sometimes they don't. But as I talk to them, we talk about, well, what has their experience been in getting a job? And what are they looking for? And the more comfortable they get, then they begin to disclose what barriers they may have had in getting employment. So I can help direct them to which are the appropriate websites to use, which are the appropriate programs to use within the center, and also what community resources might be good to support them.
Absolutely fabulous. That's great.
Yeah.
I know for myself and for other people that I've met who have a disability, one of the most important, an acquired disability, one of the most important pieces in that is putting everything back together again, and work is obviously a big part of that. And so I'm so happy to hear that you have programs to assist individuals who have disabilities get the jobs that they need and want. And it sounds like that you place them in a competitive and fair employment situation.
Yes, and that's actually, we're required to in the sense that, for example, if they've lost their job, been laid off, and then, there are quite a few people that have been laid off.
Absolutely.
A number of those individuals may have a disability, and we're required to get them back into a job or into training that's going to get them employment that is at the same or higher level.
Okay.
And that's if they can go into our dislocated worker program.
Okay. I'm on the board of directors, as are you, for the Metropolitan Center for Independent Living. And I understand that there's a relationship also between the Metropolitan Center for Independent Living and Department of Economic and Employment. Can you tell me what that relationship is and how you can help individuals in that way?
Oh, it's a fabulous contract, really. What it is if a customer who has a disability is determined eligible for vocational rehabilitation services, their counselor can automatically refer them to a independent living skills specialist who is provided by the center, the Metropolitan Center on Independent Living. And that counselor or that specialist can work with their customer on any issue that is related to work. So, for example, they may need to get housing.
Okay.
Or they may have to...
Oh, so it's all-encompassing.
Yep.
Housing and social service needs. And so it's really more hands-on. Hands-on,
and it really is about solving those particular barriers that might keep them from getting employment.
Okay. I see that you brought some equipment with you here today. Can you tell me about this UB Duo?
Yep. This actually, the UB Duo was developed by a young man.
Okay.
It is a communication device for individuals that are deaf, have a speech impairment, or a person, possibly a person who has English as a second language and has some difficulty talking. But it was developed out of, you know how you guys do text messaging?
I was about to say, it reminds me of a text, like a Sidekick or something similar to that. So, fantastic.
And so what you do is you use it between a counselor at the workforce center or at the information desk.
Okay.
And the person just comes up to it. A staff member has one, and there is also one facing the customer. So it would be, "Hi, how can I help you today?" And then the person types back, so it's immediate communication.
Okay, I understood that it can, it's multicultural, and you would hear your services to accommodate all people that live within the community. So that's important.
Yep, it is. But this we use this if the customer wants to, but if they don't, it really is a matter of choice. So they could actually just write if they wanted to, or of course, many people who are deaf can lip read.
Do people who say are hard of hearing, do they know that this exists, or do they need to ask for it, or will the counselor who they approach would say, "Would you like to try this"?
Well, we keep it right at the front desk.
Okay.
So that it's for immediate communication. Counselors sometimes do request it. Lots of consumers do not know that this is available. That's why we have signage. And we also have an orientation process at the Workforce Center which talks about all of our accommodations.
And of course the Workforce Center is also wheelchair accessible as well.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
All of it.
Good. Good. Well, thank you for showing me this today. I appreciate you bringing it by. This is fascinating. I love this. My son would probably like one too.
Yeah.
Play with his friends, right?
I think anyone who's into computers
Absolutely
would like
yes.
it.
Well, thank you, Ellie. It's been such a pleasure having you on our
Thank you.
show today.
Thanks
You've
very
really
much.
presented a lot of really useful information that our viewers can use.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
So that's the show for today. I'd like to thank everybody at Disability Viewpoints, Mark Hughes, our producers, and all of our viewers here today. And I want to remind everybody to get your flu shots. I want all of us to stay healthy, safe, and warm. Bye-bye for now.